Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I'm going to be doing a drama live. It's not going to be everything that's happened to me. I'm just going to be hitting some important topics throughout my life that I wanted to talk about. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. So I was born in Mexico. I was born right in the border in Mexico. It's not a small place, it's not a big place either. I was born in Matamoros, Tamaulipas, and honestly, I don't remember living there because I was only 3 um, when I lived in Mexico. I only lived there for 3 years with my parents, my dad and my mom. And then when I turned 3, my parents decided that there was going to be a major move. When I say major, I mean it was major move. Again, I was only 3, so I don't remember anything that went on. So the major move was to the United States. So we came here with visas. My mom always traveled over here with my grandpa, but she lived in Mexico with my dad. So I was 3 years old and we moved to United States. So I lived a pretty normal life growing up as a child. I was a very shy little girl. For 6 years, it was just me, myself, and I with mom and dad. But then they decided that they needed to add another member. And obviously, I was not happy about that. And they had my little brother. So growing up, like I said, I had a pretty normal childhood. I was always on ESL classes. So, if you don't know what an ESL class is for bilingual speakers, so I spoke English and Spanish, um, English at school, Spanish at home. So they put me on ESL all the way till I was in 5th grade. And when I was in 5th grade, it was a major shock because it was only English speakers, and I was so out of my comfort because I was always with Spanish speakers, and it was just a huge shock for me, and I hated it. I did not like it, but that's what it was, and couldn't change it. So, also growing up, my family, we attended church, and as you can tell, I didn't like going to church. I just thought it was boring. I just didn't know why we had to wake up so early on a Sunday morning to go to church. It was just so difficult for me as the years went by. I just didn't understand. So now I'm in high school. So in high school, I was never popular or anything. I always considered myself just a normal girl with a lot of friends. I had best friends, that whole normal high school life. Well, it wasn't that normal because I started hanging around with people that influenced me. Mm, I don't even know if they influenced me, but I also just me being a rebellious teenager decided to do things that I shouldn't be doing. And I feel like I never had any type of structure just because my parents were so free spirit with me. They always trusted me, and I obviously took advantage of that trust. And I was doing a lot of bad stuff, and I think being in the wrong crowd with the wrong friends didn't help. So, from 15 going on 16, as you guys can tell, I made a major, major, major mistake. Um, I had a boyfriend at that time, and I was way too young, and I regret it. I totally regret it. But sometimes we make mistakes and we learn from them, and I definitely learned from that mistake. I was kicked out of my house. I was devastated, I was hurt, and I didn't know what to do. So I was living with a family member for a very long time, it seemed. Um, but my parents were really upset and hurt. When I was away from them, I was alone, I was sad, I was broken, and it took my parents a very long time for them to trust me. And I asked for forgiveness to please allow me to come back home. I realized that I made the biggest mistake of my life and I couldn't turn it back. So I kept, asking if I could come back home, that things were going to be different. I was just so broken not being with my family. And they finally decided that I was welcome back home. It was not the same. Um, it was a lot of trust issues between my family and I, but I was just happy to be back home. But being back home, things didn't change. Um, I was into alcohol, smoking, I was, clubbing. I was just completely lost. And finally, I decided it's time to go back and give my life to Jesus Christ and make a change. I can no longer live like this, and God has been working in my life ever since. The best decision I could have ever done. And this was from 17 to 20 years old. So from 15 to 21, I dated a lot of guys. I don't want to say a lot of guys because that sounds like a horrible thing to say, but I did have a lot of boyfriends. I did have issues with men. I don't know why, but I got myself in a lot of trouble. I had a great upbringing. My dad was involved in my life, so I have no idea why. I sometimes blame it on me being a big girl, feeling like nobody loved me, so I always felt like I needed to have a boyfriend to tell me, that I look pretty. So college came. From 18 to 21, I decided that things needed to be different. I started to work out so much. I was working out 6 hours a day, every day. And I was a full time college student. Um, and in between classes, I would go work out. And I was working 2 jobs. And my life was finally not perfect, but it was finally in a place where I felt amazing. So I was I felt like I was in my prime time. Those were the best years of my life. I felt amazing. I felt good. I've never felt this good in my life. And then, when I was 21, I met my husband. So, when I met my husband, I strictly told him that we were only going to be friends because I just got out of a relationship. And I was sad, but I wasn't heartbroken about that relationship. I was just sad the way things ended. So in 2014, I dated my husband for only 3 months. That relationship quickly escalated, quickly. And September, after dating for 3 months, in September, my husband asked me to marry him. And it was at the beach. It was super hot. And he kept telling me to look at the sky. I'm like, it is hot. What is going on? Can we just leave? And then he said, will you marry me? And obviously, I said yes. So it was a shock for my whole family because I was dating this person for only 3 months when we decided to get married. So we got married very quickly. So September 13, 2014, he proposed to me, and by September 27, 2014, which was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we got married. We had the whole shebang. We had the whole wedding thing. Um, his family was there. My family was there. I can't believe, we were able to pull off a wedding in 3 weeks. It seemed a lot less, to be honest, But I am really grateful for my family and a lot of other people who stepped up and said, nope, we're going to help you. We're going to do this. Our plans was just to get married to the courthouse. And obviously, not a lot of people were okay with that. So they helped us to have our wedding. And then by our second year of marriage, I decided to go to a doctor, a baby doctor, just because we noticed that we were not getting pregnant. And then when I went to the doctor, they told me I had PCOS, which were cysts on my ovaries, and that it was going to be difficult to have a child. And we were just devastated, but there was a solution. Thankfully, I was put in medication, and I took that for about 4 months. And then after 4 months, I told my husband that I was pregnant. We were shocked. We couldn't believe it that the medication worked. We were just so thankful and grateful. There were so many emotions that day. I just remember crying so much and giving thanks to God for allowing us to um, be able to have a baby. And he was super excited because we've been trying for a long time. But unfortunately, when I was 12 weeks pregnant, I miscarried. That hurt us a lot. That hurt me a lot. I had so much anger in me at that time because I didn't understand why it took us so long, and then we finally were able to have a child, and we lost the baby on April 3rd. We lost our baby boy or our baby girl. We were not able to find out the gender. Um, it was going to be probably a few more weeks when they were going to tell us, but we know now. I know that things happen for a reason. And then 2 months later, after we lost our first baby, I found out that I was pregnant, and it was all natural. I had not taken the medication because I never went and got another prescription. I didn't think I was even capable of getting pregnant. And when I told my husband, he was shocked. He couldn't believe it. And again, we gave thanks to Jesus for allowing us to be able to carry another child. And we unfortunately miscarried again. My water broke at 19 weeks, and it was heartbreaking. It was, it hurt a lot. Um, we, I delivered a baby boy. We named him Ezra Alvarez, and we continue to trust in the Lord. This time it's totally different. It's something I cannot explain, but I give thanks to the Lord for allowing me to carry my two precious babies. And I know that they're in a better place. I know that they're being safe and taken care of by Jesus Himself. And we continue to thank God in the situation, and we don't know what the future holds for us, but what I do know is that we both have a lot of faith in the Lord, that He, whenever He is ready, will grant us with another baby boy or baby girl. It doesn't matter as long as the baby is healthy. We will be just grateful. And that is where I'm at in my life. We have so many plans, and there has been so many blessings still showing up into our lives, even though we are going through this, devastating time of losing our baby boy. God is still blessing us in ways that we can never imagine. And we are very grateful and thankful for everything that He's doing. And we continue to praise Him, give Him thanks for the time that He allowed me to carry both of my children. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. This is the end of my video. Obviously, there's so many things I didn't talk about, but this was pretty much one of the main topics that I wanted you guys to know about my life. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. And I feel like I'm saying "and" a lot, but this is it. This is the end.